Welcome to my favorite Warlock build this expansion, Pure Void Handheld Supernova. With the recent buffs to HHSS and the new stat rework system, you can literally use this build to one-shot champions and bosses at minus 40 power content, which is exactly where we will be testing this build today. I've seen the comments and hear y'all loud and clear that you missed the stress test of the build and actual content at the end of videos, so today I will be making sure we do just that. But before we get started with the build, 2 emblem giveaways for today, the usuals. One will be given away to a lucky viewer who leaves a comment down below who is subscribed to the channel and likes the video, and the other will be hidden somewhere in the build video, so just keep your eyes peeled, pay attention, and whoever finds it first, it will be theirs. So before we go ahead and hop into the Mythic Kepler campaign mission, let's go over the build. Simply put, you might think that you want to go Controverse Hold with a build like this because Controverse Hold is designed specifically for charging up grenades, which is how you utilize Handheld Supernova. Although with my testing, I don't know if Controverse Hold is just not actually that good with Handheld Supernova or if it's bugged with Handheld Supernova, but I noticed when I threw Handheld Supernova at a tanky target, it would not actually refund any grenade energy if I did not kill said tanky target. So I went ahead and tried out Verity's Brow with this build, and it feels absolutely out of this world. Weapon final blows with the damage type matching your grenade, so in this case void weapon final blows, grant death throws which provide a grenade damage bonus and grant you grenade energy. When you have death throws and throw a grenade, nearby allies also gain greatly increased grenade regeneration for a short time, so you're helping out your teammates as well. And if you're running this build with like a friend or a clanny or something like that, both of you are running this build, then you kind of like juice up each other's grenade spam a little bit. My favorite part of Verity's Brow, I've never really liked the fashion on Verity's Brow, but this because you know you look like a tree, but this expansion there is like a Spec Ops looking ornament which I just picked up, which makes it much more fashionable because it actually takes on shaders unlike the tree trunk helmet. I do want to highlight the specific numbers of Verity's Brow just to give you an understanding of how crazy these buffs are. So Verity's Brow, upon scoring a grenade element matching weapon kill, you get a stack of death throws up to 5 stacks and increases your grenade ability damage and grants bonus grenade ability energy. Specifically, if you get up to 5 stacks, you get 100% increased grenade damage, so double your grenade damage, and you get 2.5% bonus grenade energy every second for 4 seconds. And then your stacks will deteriorate as you do not continuously get matching grenade element weapon kills. Stack by stack, they'll deteriorate a little bit more slowly. So if you want to maintain maximum uptime on the 5 stacks, you basically need to kill every 4 seconds, and then it'll drop to 4, and then you need to kill within 5 seconds, or it'll drop to 3, and so on and so forth. Now, to actually make this build work properly the way that I've been utilizing it, we come over to the Void Walker subclass, and I'm going to direct your attention specifically to the Chaos Accelerant Void aspect, and we're actually concerning ourselves with the last line item right there, the Magnetic Grenade, which I apologize, my webcam is blocking it slightly, but releases a short range void blast, and the cooldown of the grenade is reduced. So this is, technically speaking, Handheld Supernova doesn't actually exist in the game anymore, at least it's not an aspect, or it's not a melee ability or anything like that. You utilize Handheld Supernova by having on the Chaos Accelerant aspect in conjunction with the Magnetic Grenade, and that is what turns into Chaos Accelerant. You can literally basically double the damage of Handheld Supernova if you use it properly. So the reason I want to highlight specifically how to throw Handheld Supernova is because if I throw it at nothing, I want you to pay close attention to the spread of the Handheld Supernova. It's kind of just like a horizontal line of void projectiles. And the reason I want to highlight that is because you might think that the way that you want to chuck it at enemies is you're just going to aim for like center mass basically, right? And if I aim for center mass, I do 2,172 damage. Watch what happens when I aim specifically for the feet of the enemy instead. I actually do like literally over double the damage. I do almost 5,000 damage with the Handheld Supernova. And this is because when you aim for center mass, the far left and far right projectiles are going to kind of miss the target a little bit, if that makes sense. Sure, on certain targets, if you kind of barrel stuff them, you can get the maximum damage if they are big enough. So that one's still going to hit for 4K. But a lot of targets are not going to be as big as Carl the Dummy of Practice, right? To reliably make sure that you're always getting maximum damage on Handheld Supernova, you want to get a little bit of like air on the target that you're throwing the handheld supernova at, and you want to aim for the feet, because if you get some air and you aim for the feet, it ensures that all of the projectiles are going to hit your target, and you'll hit around 5,000 damage every single time, which for comparison is like almost the same as a Celestial Nighthawk Golden Gun on Hunter. Your handheld supernova grenade alone does that much damage. Now, you might think like, okay, big whoop, I chuck my handheld supernova grenade, but Mac, I'm not using Controverse Hold. I don't have any crazy amounts of grenade regeneration. How long is it going to take me to do another handheld supernova like this? I'll show you. So if I use my grenade and run out of it, bop, 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 ready for another grenade. There's another one. Bop, bop, bop. A little more juice. Hit another handheld supernova. Chuck it like that. Bop, 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 bop. Sure, I hope at this point you can see why this is my favorite Warlock build so far this expansion. So let's talk about the rest of the subclass, right? We got Feed the Void, which is one of the primary ways that we are not only going to be able to become borderline invincible, but it's also one of the main ways that we're getting so much grenade energy back, where anytime we defeat a target with the Void ability, we activate Devour, and it's actually improved Devour. So we get bonus grenade energy every single time we kill a target, and we get a lot of health every single time we kill a target, which, again, if you've been watching the channel for a while, you know that in my opinion, this is the strongest elemental buff in the entire game. It's up there with like Amplified and Woven Mail. It's absolutely crazy. What this means is if we get a kill with our handheld supernova or a base magnetic grenade or our pocket singularity or even our Nova Bomb, then we get Devour. Anytime we get a kill, we extend the duration of our Devour and we start working towards a new grenade and we heal on every single kill. So extremely powerful. As far as the rest of our kit goes, pocket singularity is our only option for our melee. This thing isn't going to be used too much. It makes targets volatile, which is nice, I suppose, but we're really just going to be using this as another alternative method to start up our Devour through Feed the Void with an ability Final Blow if we don't have access to our grenade at the time. As far as our other abilities, I'm actually going Empowering Rift with this build. I just find Healing Rift to be very unnecessary with effectively 100% uptime on Devour as long as you're playing this build properly. You really don't need any healing from Healing Rift, so I'm actually going Empowering Rift instead so that our weapon damage is increased in conjunction with all the increases that we're getting to our grenade damage through things like Verity's Brow. We have Verity's Brow to soup up our grenade, and we have Empowering Rift to soup up our weapon damage. Breaking news! Void Warlock buffs have just been announced. We're starting an Ashen Iron. Empowering Rift, in addition to its existing weapon damage bonus benefits, will also grant grenade, melee, and class ability energy just for standing in the rift, and will provide bonus special and heavy ammo progress for final blows while standing in the rift as well. Additionally, Pocket Singularity, the melee for this build, is now receiving double charges and double the projectile lifetime. So, yeah, build's goated now, and it's about to get even better. And, oh, what's that? I'm being told that this breaking news report was kindly brought to you by Opera GX, the best browser around for gamers, because it literally gives you better FPS in game versus other browsers due to how little RAM it hogs up. It also has built-in ad blockers, and you can automatically transfer over all your Google Chrome bookmarks as well. And if you love my builds, downloading Opera GX through my link in the description directly supports them, as they are giving me $3 per person who downloads so that I can continue to make more build videos just for you. As far as our super goes, it's genuinely dealer's choice. I'm not going to showcase the footage here because I don't want to waste your time or anything like that. But I found that Nova Bomb Cataclysm and Nova Bomb Vortex do the exact same total damage. Nova Bomb Vortex, you throw it on a boss, and then the Vortex damage over time gets it to about 9,200, and then Nova Bomb Cataclysm does about 9,200 all in one burst. So I do the Nova Bomb Cataclysm just so it does it all at the snap of a finger. You could even go Nova Warp. You can literally use whatever super you want. If you want to start ripping Nova Warp, go nuts. As far as fragments go, we're gonna go with the Echo of Persistence, where void buffs applied to us have increased duration. Specifically, Devour is what we're looking for in this one. This means that our Devour lasts for a maximum of 15 seconds, and every single kill is going to increase the time even more when we use the Echo of Persistence, as opposed to the base increase time of 5 seconds. Echo of Undermining, so that our void grenades weaken targets for obvious reasons. Very grenade-centric build. Echo of Instability, so that defeating targets with our grenades grants volatile rounds to our void weapons. And then for the final fragment slot, it's a bit of a flex. It's kind of up to you. I would say 3 different options here. If you want to increase your super damage and get the 10 super stat point from the Echo of Expulsion, don't get me wrong, void ability Final Blows cause targets to explode is nice and all, but it's not particularly necessary for this build. The 10 super stat points, though, are nice because if you have 10 super stat points over 100, that equates to approximately a 4.5% damage buff to your super, so you can go with that if you would like. Alternatively, you could go with the Echo of Reprisal for higher super uptime. Final Blows while surrounded by combatants grant super energy. You will be playing relatively close range to be in range of your handheld supernovas, so this one synergizes quite well. Or Alternatively, you could go if you want maximum uptime on Devour, if you're not comfortable with only having Devour access through your grenade, your super, and your melee. You could, worst case scenario, go Echo of Starvation, so that anytime you pick up a Void Breach or an Orb of Power, you also get or extend an existing Devour. Me personally, I like the 10 super stat points for the bonus super damage / bonus super uptime, so I'm going with this one, but ultimately, it is up to you which one you pick. As far as our stats go, to the surprise of probably nobody, as much grenade as humanly possible. Ideally, you want to be at 200 grenade stat, but even if you can only get to 160 like I'm currently at, it's completely fine because we can get to 200 very easily through mods. After the grenade stat, you want to go all in on the super stat, get that as high as possible. And this is really, really nice because if we go to our ghost, and we check out the focusing mod, Grenadier Armorer drops grenade as your primary stat, so it will always be 30 grenade stat points, and super as your secondary stat, which will always be 25 stat points. So if you slot in Grenadier Armor, it literally gives you maximum spikes in both of the stats you care most about for this build. Other than that, I would say a little bit of class stat is nice, so you can have a little bit more uptime on your Empowering Rift, but with this build, and really any PvE builds, you don't care about health at all. Melee stat, not that big of a deal, because like we said, the melee just really isn't the star of the show here. And then weapon stat, you know, we're prioritizing other things with this setup. Before we talk about armor mods, I do want to talk about my weapons. For the most part, completely dealer's choice here. You can use absolutely whatever special weapon you want, whatever exotic you want, whatever heavy you want. However, you do want to make sure that you are using a void primary ammo weapon because of the Verity's Brow. We need to make sure that the element of our primary weapon is matching the element of our grenade, which is void in this case, to make sure that we get those stacks of death throws for the bonus grenade damage and the bonus grenade regeneration rate. I love a primary ammo weapon with Demolitionist for this build because Demolitionist plus Devour plus 100 grenade stat plus Verity's Brow stacks is what's going to enable you to have your grenade every 2 to 3 kills, or even if you're not getting kills just with passive grenade regeneration, it goes up so quickly. A couple of my personal favorite picks for this build in the legendary category, the Ancient Gospel Garden of Salvation hand cannon, which is now void actually with the reprisal. Demolitionist and explosive payload feels absolutely mint on this thing. Alternatively, you can go the Word of Crota hand cannon with Demolitionist and Adrenaline Junkie, where if you get a grenade final blow, it instantly goes to 5 stacks and gives you a huge damage bonus. This thing's also feeling really good. You can go, if you don't like to raid that much, you can go the Joxer's Pulse Rifle, which is currently focusable at Shacks, which also rolls with Demolitionist and some other nice perks for this build. I think you can get Demolitionist and destabilizing rounds. Although, to be completely honest, I personally don't find destabilizing rounds that necessary with this build because you have the Echo of Instability and you're getting volatile rounds on your void weapons all the time, always anyway, because you're always defeating stuff with your grenade, as your grenade is always up. So I'm not a huge fan of destabilizing rounds with this build. You could also, if you want to use an exotic void weapon, the new 3rd iteration seasonal scout rifle is awesome for this build. You could totally go with that. Unfortunately, it doesn't have Demolitionist on it, but still feels really, really good. The Choir of One also feels spectacular for this build. Really, any void primary ammo weapon, or in this case, Choir of One is technically a special ammo weapon, but it kind of functions like a primary ammo weapon because it's an auto rifle and has very high ammo reserves. Kind of up to you, kind of dealer's choice with this, but I'm just giving you a couple of personal picks that I've really been enjoying using with this build. Today, I'm going to be showcasing this build with the Mint Retrograde Rocket Pulse Rifle, just because I've been loving this thing. It's absolutely nuclear. And then I'm actually going to be trying out, I don't know why, I'm just kind of in the mood to use this because I just got the new ornament for it and I think it looks really cool. I'm going the Microcosm. As far as mods go, on the helmet, Ashes to Assets, so we get bonus super energy on grenade kills. And here you could either go a second Ashes to Assets, so you get even more bonus super energy on grenade kills, or you can go with a super font mod so that when your armor charge, you get 20 bonus points to your super stat. That's going to equate to approximately a 9% damage bonus to your super if you're over 100. And then finally, Harmonic Siphon. Gonna align with our void element. Rapid void weapon final blows create an orb of power. Nice and easy. Down on the gloves, we're gonna go a firepower mod, so our grenade final blows create orbs of power. And then, like I said, if you're at 160 grenade stat, if you want to get up to 200, you can go double grenade font, so that's gonna be 40 grenade stat points whenever your armor charge, which obviously is gonna take us from 160 to 200. On the chest piece, business as usual, concussive dampener, double resistance, whatever damage type of enemies you're fighting, completely up to you. Down on the boots, I'm going with an absolution mod, so we get all ability cooldowns cooldowns reduced when we pick up an Orb of Power to get us a little bit of juice towards our melee and our class ability. I'm going with Insulation so that we reduce our class ability cooldown when we pick up an Orb of Power. You might think that we would want Innervation instead because it's a grenade-focused build, but I just don't find it necessary. We are already getting so much grenade energy from Death Throws, Devour, and Demolitionist that I want to show a little bit of love to our Empowering Rift so we can have a little bit higher uptime on that. And then finally, a Void Weapon Surge for our Void primary ammo weapon, or alternatively, if you want to go with the Surge for your special or heavy, you could totally do that as well if you would like. Finally, on our class item, Reaper, so that when we cast our class ability, next weapon kill gets an Orb of Power. Time Dilation, so all of our armor charge stacks are 15 seconds instead of 10. And then I'm going Powerful Attraction, so that when I cast my class ability, I scoop up all orbs, but I can only fit that because I have a tier 4 class item with 11 energy capacity. If you only have 10 energy capacity on your class item, if it's tier 3 or lower, then instead you would probably go, you could go Outreach or Bomber. It's kind of up to you. I would say Bomber is probably a little bit overkill because like I said, we're getting so much grenade energy already. So Outreach to give a little bit of love to your melee. Like I know I said melee is not really that important for this build at all, but it's nice to have it up in that, you know, nightmare scenario where you need to get Devour, you need an ability Final Blow, and your grenade is very low on cooldown and it's not up anytime soon. I'm also doing a solo op to show off this build right now as well, because I know that if I run this while I'm recording a build for YouTube, then I will definitely get a hollow foil drop. Another cool thing with this build as well is you don't feel like you always have to use your grenade for handheld supernova. The magnetic grenade in and of itself is very strong. And if you're in a situation where you're playing from range and you can't really reliably get up close, like magnetic grenade from a distance is still very, very good, especially considering that you get it back all the time. Like look at my grenade meter just from killing these guys. Just comes back so quickly. And then here I can go handheld supernova because the guys are like getting a little bit closer. And then when they're further away, I'll just throw regular magnetic grenade. Yeah, even 30 power levels down, this thing slaps. I think the problem with mythic content as well is all the enemies have galvanized. They all have like double their base health or something like that. The nice thing too with the demolitionist weapon as well is if you're properly ad clearing, you never have to actually manually reload the demolitionist weapon because you can just throw your grenade to reload it. All right, come on, push up. Wow. Like, that's funny, dude. The super uptime on this is goofy as well. I almost had my super back. I literally just ripped it. Ah. See ya. Dude, give me a hollow foil for the YouTube video. Please give me a hollow foil for the YouTube video. Oh, no way. Okay, wait, that just means we have to do one more run. Okay, wait a minute. We just trashed that at 30 power down. Right, so we're 423. We're going in at 460. That's what, 37 power down? So 37 power down, for context, is basically old Grandmaster Nightfall power difference. There we go. Having, like, constant uptime on the volatile rounds is so nice, as long as you're always getting grenade final blows. Got her super up already. You know what? Just, why not? We'll get it back in like 5 seconds, right? All right, let's see what we got here. Woo! Almost one shot. I think I missed like 2 of the bolts though. I didn't aim right at his feet. I aimed like a little bit behind him. So I think that was user error right there. Okay, yep. With 0 stacks of death throws, by the way, that's one-tapping a Grandmaster level barrier hobgoblin. Like, you don't even have to worry about champions. All right, can we one-tap the overload champion? I don't have grenade up yet. There we go. Woo! Oh my god. All right, I don't need to reload that because I'm about to rip a handheld supernova. That'll proc the Devourer, and that'll proc Demolitionist. Let's throw our Nova Bomb. And then we can just get like a couple of ad kills. That'll get us our handheld supernova back, so we can rip another one on hit. Oh my god. Ah! Mistakes are made. That's my fault, not the build's fault. I played greedy. So let's get Empowering Rift down. So we have bonus weapon damage, so we can start getting some easy kills. Proc our Demolitionist, so we get our grenade back. Scoop out the nade or 2. And now we have our HHSS. Handheld supernova for sure, just using slang. Get a couple more kills. Clean up those guys. Pling, pling, pling. And then I'm actually going to ignore that Minotaur for now and just get a handheld supernova on the boss to phase him. I'm going to do a little experiment. I'm going to waste the Nova Bomb and see if I can get it back in time. Bop. That is too funny. Definitely don't want to deal with them, so I'm gonna use the rocket bolts to smoke them from range. Death throw's still up. I'm gonna push up a little bit. Handheld supernova this Minotaur. About halfway to super. 62% on the plate sync. Rocket pulls. I've run out of enemies. Killed them faster than they can spawn. Ah, come on. Give me my Nova Bomb. Yay. And hit him with one of those. Load up the HHSS. Boom. And we win. Easy peasy. And if it'll work in that, then I'm pretty sure it'll work in literally anything else that you do. No hollow foil, man. But it's okay, because you can cheer me out by subscribing to the channel if you're not already subscribed, so you can catch all future build videos, and by liking the video if you enjoyed this one. Thank you so much for watching. Destiny Item Manager link in the description down below, so you can go ahead and copy it and get right to using it. And as always, have a great day.